doesn't perpetuate crimes against Gotham's wealthiest men. Even in one of the more modern iterations, we see this concept as important to his character.
I'm only burning my half. All you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal. I'm gonna give it to him. It's not about money. It's about something switch. Everything burns.
The idea being that you don't need to be privileged to be intelligent.
Hello, welcome back.
And fight the ones
It's giving femboy. How dare you? Just because a man is wearing a skirt and acting girly doesn't necessarily mean they're a femboy. Men can wear whatever they want. They're men. Clothes have no gender. So, shut your mouth.
Between the Batman universe and mental illness. It's such a strong, overarching concept.
Shut your mouth and never speak again.
It's been explored increasingly over the years by academics and the media alike. For a long time.
Plus, this is me. Like, it's my self-insert, so like, I'm not a femboy. I'm not a femboy. I don't portray myself as a femboy, to be honest. So, this is just me being me. When is your mod coming out? I don't know. Making a mod is hard. Like, I haven't even finished making it.
Identity processing disorders. Our most famous example is, of course, the Killing Joke, where the Joker claims that it was one bad day that drove him to insanity. Some jump over.
So, like, I'm inspired by, like, very much. So, like, originally, I was gonna go for, like, this was supposed to be Priya from Turning Red. Like, I was supposed to draw Priya, but then I became lazy and just drew myself because,
And then mentally ill people are more likely to be the victim than they are the aggressor of.
What's the oh, it's a video essay.
Saying that someone like the Joker,
I'm listening to an essay.
Whatever that illness may be, we say that it's what makes him evil. I think that is a valid way to critique the ableism built up in the Batman universe.
What age are you?
Disagree.
I don't know.
As stated before, there have been a few ways in which people have begun to use mental illness and the Joker as a way to make him more sympathetic or relatable.
I'm 11 years old. Doom.
Batman's John Doe and the Joker in this alternate universe, whose character is treated in such a different and unique way from typical narratives of crazy equaling evil. John Doe is endearing. He's overly excitable, generally optimistic, loyal, and much smarter than he seems.
Hi guys! I'm actually 11 years old.
Despite knowing who he is, or rather who he could be.
Priya's a little bit emo.
Is shown as being dependent on certain scenarios and emotions.
I don't know what kin is, but okay. Wait, this is supposed to be more pink. On the pink side. You sound like 18, how? Well, everyone has their own different. I had early, very early, very early, very early. I forgot what it's called when you what is it called, like when you grow up and become a teenager. I forgot what that's called. Oh, puberty. Yeah, puberty. I had very early puberty. That's why I sound like this, because like I had very early puberty.
Deal with trauma, hallucinations, or panic attacks, and remain himself is not only relatable but inspiring. He is usually always in control of the situations he puts himself into. He uses his illnesses, not hiding it like it's something to be ashamed of. He knows it can make people uncomfortable, but he is aware that his entire being makes people uncomfortable. So he revels in it and laughs at their fear, playing up on their own ridiculous ableist ideas of what it means.
When you gonna make a tutorial about eyes? Why do you need a tutorial about eyes? Like, it's literally the easiest thing in the world.
A few of his backstories, like the ones from Street of Gotham,
Eyes are really easy to do.
The Joker,
How do you not know how to draw eyes?
Batman 20.
They're literally so easy.
The Joker, and a potential one from The Dark Knight. You probably know what I'm referring to.
What's playing in the background?
How
do you make a gotcha mod? I'm not gonna spill it.
If you'd like to, you may
I'm not gonna
just
tell y'all my
if you're curious.
secrets.
But suffice it to say that
That's
some of the
my
backstories
shit, not you.
used
Eyes are
in
the
Batman's
hardest
situation.
part.
In several of these instances, he takes
How-
back the power taken from him, sometimes in rather gruesome
How
ways.
is it so hard?
Joker narratives
How?
always acted as a vehicle for readers to live vicariously, to imagine some of that abandonment of society's expectations, rules, and laws. And in this, he acts as a sympathetic victim as he takes his revenge, and we usually cheer him.
How is that hard?
He continues to live, to smile and laugh.
How is that hard?
Despite the potential abuse he lived through. And with a queer reading, it can be seen as an even more defiant act. Following how society...
How is this hard?
Mentally
Huh? How is this hard?
Individuals, especially...
Y'all are ugly as hell.
The Joker can act
Y'all are
as an
dumb
expression
because
of
y'all can't draw
queer faith.
eyes.
Now, this isn't something I can give you an easy, clear...
Stop asking what I'm watching. It's none of y'all business.
Types of queer things. They're usually pretty hard to pin
It's
down.
none of your business. Stop asking. You don't know me.
Rage as defiance.
I'm not dumb. Then why can't you draw eyes?
Like how society tells us that we need to be straight.
If you're not dumb, then why can't you be able to draw eyes?
Pansexuality aren't valid, that they're made up. That asexuality
Get out.
doesn't exist, or that you are professed for being men.
Shay, you killed my.
Only genders
No,
that
it's just
truly
false.
exist are men.
Ew!
Race,
Slimy and touch.
Paano mo ki-clean?
by the media.
Yung bo...
We see it when
I hate
schools are
you! Ba't mo
homogenous,
ki-clean yung...
very identities made out to be
Sabi ko
caricatures.
sa'yo.
No.
Our only representation
Get out of my room.
where characters
Huwag ka dito
die
mag-save.
tragically,
Sabi ko sa'yo, huwag may clean yung fish tank
or
ko.
hide who we are to avoid confrontation from relatives
fucking-
or strangers on the street. When we need to conform.
My
to
fish is
society's
dead.
appropriate.
Fucking
Really,
bitch.
fuck you. It's no longer hiding, no longer running. It's solidarity and banding together with our community. It's fighting back and being who you are, despite everything that tries to tell you to do otherwise. The Joker is a pretty good vessel for this. We see everything he does as a defiance of what society says.
Teach yourself how to draw.
Society says you should
I taught myself how to draw, and you expect me to teach you? Please, teach yourself.
Right way to be a man.
I can't believe people nowadays. Y'all are lazy as fuck.
Goes against the grain and acts the way he wants to act, the way he wants to dress and be. They say he needs an identity.
Lazy as hell?
For himself. And he comes up with
I know how to draw. I don't fucking
refuses to
care.
go by anything else but the name he calls himself.
Y'all, you guys flush fish down the toilet?
And he says that no other law is more important than
We don't do that here.
I am not your citizen.
What's your favorite color? I don't know.
You do not have a hold on me no matter how many times you think you might. They say you are a man. You should be
Stop asking the name of the gotcha mod. I'm not gonna tell you guys.
undefinable and shifting internally. Joker is chaos and rage. Nothing else
Not
knows
y'all
that they are
joking
trying
when
to
my
overcome
fish literally
things that
died
are
and y'all
broken.
making fun of my fish for
Joker
dying.
says that if it makes him a criminal to be queer, then fine.
Not y'all
He
making
already
fun of
is.
my dead
And his other
fish.
crimes are much worse.
Imagine
If we
making
checked
fun
the
of my
box
dead
on every
fish.
single terrible thing the Joker has done, the list would go on forever. Or at least a very long time. But
I don't
from
use
perspective,
gotcha neon.
Joker's queerness is the opposite. Not a crime. But something that makes him redeemable. Or at least makes it so that there is a kernel of true humanity, of love in him behind the grinning mask. Something that makes him human, like everyone else. Without it, he would lose what makes him so interesting. We love the Joker because he is human, looks like it, bleeds, and yet we don't know how he survives the things that would kill a normal human. He wears no mask to hide himself, and yet we don't know who he is. The Joker is a bad guy, and yet he remains adored by so many. He is a monster, a boogeyman, a trickster, and he is also capable of love. The Joker was, and still is, and arguably queer-coded, even if you don't believe him to be actually queer. After literal decades of being portrayed as caricatures, villains...
I hate everyone in this live stream right now.
Many queer people
I
are
hope all of your
proclaiming
knees
their
get inverted and you get hit by a car, never to be.
rather than
I hope you die in your
erase
sleep.
the existence of queer traits and villains. Many want to lean into the reason.
Y'all are being mean, like unnecessarily mean.
It is a redeeming quality. It can be powerful to see ourselves in characters such as the Joker.
Just stop.
When creators try and deny a queer-coded character's queerness, or worse, tell queer people that their interpretation of a famously queer-coded character's sexuality is wrong, it is insulting. In the case of the Joker, who has had decades of hinting, undertones, and blatant
Okay, clearly you didn't read. Clearly you didn't read my post when I said I'm not gonna be releasing the mod that I made. Because like it's for me only, so I'm not gonna be sharing it with anyone. So yeah. So only I will be able to get to use the mod and no one else, just
I say
me.
that the Joker is queer, and the writers, creators, and others might try and say otherwise, but they're wrong. And they can't take my interpretation of a character that tried to make my community seem evil, away from me, or other LGBTQ who agree. There are several versions of the Joker that have become extremely popular in the fandom by leaning into the interpretation of the Joker as a queer individual.
Josh, you know people can find that mod very easy. Psycho Mezzoporano? You're a fucking idiot. I'm not even gonna release it on itch.io. I'm not even gonna release it. It's like no one can find it if it's only from your PC and if you were the only one who made it. No one can find that shit because it's the only file you have. Like only I can have the file and no one else because I did not release the mod that I made. Only I. Hackers. Who's gonna hack my laptop? Nobody would be willing to hack a gotcha kid. So, yeah. You're just dumb. Are you good at coding? Kinda? Kinda. I'm kinda good, but not that great coding. Plus, why are you so willing to hack my laptop for a stupid gotcha mod that I made?
Meta-analysis posts of the Joker's sexuality are incredibly well.
Why are you so willing to hack someone just for a stupid gotcha mod?
The most popular of which being Halfway Across, a queer reimagining of the end of the famous.
Since y'all said that, I'm not gonna be showing whips of my mod. I'm not gonna show y'all the cool whips that I have.
In this over 200,000 words of thick, which is longer than To Kill a Mockingbird, longer than Moby Dick or Jane Eyre, the Joker is portrayed as queer and unashamedly so. Melly Arts is yet another incredible fan artist who does beautifully detailed drawings of the wide variety of Joker characters, of which he is nearly always depicted faithfully as an openly queer individual. Melly's art's drawings often portray the Joker as incredibly androgynous, even with canon versions of the character.
Why is there a documentary? Why is there a documentary about the Joker being gay? Well, if you live under a rock, basically villains are queer coded. Wow. Villains are queer coded. So like people or writers give them queer stuff. Like queer traits, and people would assume that, and queer people would assume that they're queer because they are given those queer traits. Now you may be asking, why are they given queer traits? You literally live under a rock. Because if you didn't know, straight people fear gay people back then. So if you had any queer traits, of course people are gonna hate it. But of course, since you guys live under a rock, you're probably not gonna be... You probably don't even know what these mean. Why are you being so mean? This is me. I'm not faking my attitude. Like, I'm just me. And like... this is who I really am. So like, if you don't float with that, then yeah. At least I'm not faking to be like super like very hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Like, I'm not faking that. I'm not faking anything. Like, this is me. This is who I really am. So yeah. The hair is shady? The hair is shady. Then do you have anger issues? It's not anger issues. I don't have anger issues. I do have ADHD or something. I don't know. I'm still talking to my therapist about that. I need to talk more to my therapist. Not gonna lie. It's not anger issues, it's just common sense. Okay, the hair looks kinda bad.
A few variations of this character as seen by dedicated fans. They pick and choose which aspects of canon to allow into their own creative expressions of a beloved character. And every interpretation is incredibly valid, and might as well be canon, because
you at least could not tell all of us to die in our sleep. That would be much more appreciated, especially since I wasn't even being the one mean. No.
The DC universe has put in place for
No. No, I'm not gonna tell that. I'm not gonna stop being mean. Being mean is like really nice. You know, like, be gay, be mean.
Over and over again, like wearing makeup, cross-dressing, making blatant references to sleeping with men, his obsession or love for Batman, etc. It makes sense for him to be queer. Everything about him defies definition. His origins, his name, his memories, his MO, even whether he means some of the things he says or not. Why wouldn't his sexuality follow the same lines? Some people say,
why don't you want to release the mod? Because it's my mod. Why do you care if I don't want to release my mod? Like, why do you care if I don't want to release it? You know, like,
some examples of this include,
why do you care if I don't want to release my mod? You know? Like, why do you care? Like, why are you making it a big deal? Yeah, people these days are too sensitive.
In the Lego Batman movie,
why do you care? Why would you care if I don't want to release the mod? Like, I want, because your mod is cool. Oh, thank you, but I'm not gonna release it just because you said that.
It's hard to call queer coding, especially since so many straight religious conservatives picked up on it and began to freak out.
Is it a girl or a boy? That's the main point. You're not supposed to know what their gender is.
Although not in a traditionally romantic way.
You do know that queer doesn't necessarily mean gay. You do know that. I don't know what color his leg warmers are.
The Joker is a man, usually.
No, I'll just make it yellow.
Not like a brother, as usually there seems to be too much sexual and romantic undertones in lingo to truly qualify for that. Nor like a friend.
Why are you asking that, Blue?
Strange. It may not be 100% romantic, but it is powerful. It's an obsession. It's dark and at times defiant.
I have no words.
Many people have noted the underlying homoeroticism of their encounters.
Yeah, my mod's my rule, then why are you still curious? You said my mod's my rules, then why are you still curious? That doesn't make any sense.
They're enemies, obviously, but unable to kill each other. They're codependent. They are literally designed to be the other's counterpart. Without Batman, there is no Joker. He created him in some iterations. And without Joker, Batman lacks what makes him so famous. People think Batman, and then they think the Joker. They're chaos and order, justice and crime, darkness and light, stoicism and boisterousness.
How do you relieve stress? Yeah, just drawing, coloring my drawings.
They come back together again.
I'm about to go to school. Any advice? Do your best.
Thank you for watching.
Do your best.
just delete your comment and move on with my life as I have better things to do than argue with strangers on the internet.
I need a highlight color. How do you shade with the whole damn rainbow? Well, that's something called color theory, and it like you need to practice color theory just to know which colors look good together. So like for example, I'm using a lot of blues, pinks and yellows and they are going well. They are contrasting, very nice. So like you should definitely learn color theory as it would be helpful. So my word of advice is just practice color theory. Yeah, color theory is confusing.
For suicide, some graphic imagery, and spooky stuff.
Spooky.
Oh, and if you're easily startled, I'll have time codes in the description for any jump scares.
I'm gonna use blue to shade. Joyce, hi. Hey, Joe. I'm also gonna add pink.
150-year-old novellas can be spoiled at this point. And finally, this is your regular.
Then add lining, and I'm gonna add more highlights here.
Let's get to it. In 2018, The Haunting of Hill House bowled us over with its singular story of the Crane family haunted by traumas and ghosts. People were immediately chomping at the bit for more stories, and the creators made it very clear that if there were going to be more hauntings, it would be about a new family, a new house, and new ghosts. In February of 2019, they announced the follow-up would be titled The Haunting of Bly Manor, based on Henry James' Gothic horror novella,
Okay, if you guys haven't noticed it yet, there's a bit of, if you haven't noticed my color palette, then you, you have, if you haven't noticed my color palette, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Rhyme with Hill House at times, but I wanted it to be a very different show. I didn't want us to just redo what we did, but there was still stuff like, well, we have to say Forever House. Someone has to say, I can fix it. And it just can't be Henry.
The obvious difficulty with the second season of Hill House would always be how to approach it, and the answer was soon reached that this would be an anthology show in a similar vein to American Horror Story. Each season is self-contained, although we see some familiar faces throughout. This is a new story, one that rhymes rather than repeats. I honestly didn't think much about season 1 while I was watching Bly Manor, although I did clock those fun little Easter eggs. There's a house. I can fix it. There's a particularly heartbreaking one I'll tell you about later too. But Bly Manor slowly pulled me into its ghostly embrace, much in the way that The Haunting of Hill House did. And
how old are you when you started drawing? Probably when I was like very young. I don't remember the exact, but probably around 5 or 6.
For the whole season, while other writers and directors worked on the other 8 episodes. The other directors on the roster for this season were Kieran Foy, Liam Gavin, XL Carolyn, E.L. Katz, and the directing team Yolanda Ramke and Ben Howling, who co-directed the Australian zombie film Cargo, which I highly recommend, by the way. For the writers' room, along with Mike Flanagan and his brother James, they brought in Diane Ademu John, Laurie Penny, Angela Lamanna, Rebecca Lake Klingle, the Clarkson twins.
Do you only use your phone to draw? Well, yes, but no. I use my phone, but sometimes I also use my laptop, but not really. I don't really use my laptop that much to draw.
Victoria Pedretti played Nell Crane in season 1, and in season 2 she's Danny Clayton, the new au pair for the Wingrave family. There's Henry Thomas, who played Hugh Crane last season, and this season he's Henry Wingrave, the distant uncle who hires Danny to look after his niece and nephew at Bly Manor.
No, Danganronpa. The gacha community ruined Danganronpa for me. Do you draw with your finger? Yes, I draw with my finger.
Then we have Tahira Sharif as Rebecca Jessel, the former au pair at Bly, who died tragically. Flora and Miles Wingrave are the niece and nephew Danny looks after at Bly. They're played by Amelie Thea Smith and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, respectively. Oh, and Amelie Thea Smith's biggest role prior to this was Peppa Pig, so have
Peppa
fun with that
Pig.
knowledge. Then we've got Tania Miller as Hannah Gross, the housekeeper at Bly, who keeps seeing this crack in the wall, but I'm sure it's fine. Rahul Kohli plays Owen Sharma, the cook who is wholesome as fuck and loves a bad pun.
You're not a bastard woman.
And Amelia E. plays the prickly gardener Janie, who quickly takes a shine to Danny.
Do you know Poppins?
Then there's Carla Gugino, who played Olivia Crane in season 1. In season 2, she's our narrator, telling this tale to us and an audience the night before a wedding. Kate Siegel, who played Theo in season 1, shows up as Viola Willoughby Lloyd, but we'll get to her later.
Okay, all the colors are clashing, but like in a good way. Like, as you can see, the colors are mixing together very well. It looks like a galaxy.
Beneath the weeping willow.
Then we jump to this woman waking up in a chair to look at this half-open door.
Like, the colors are very like beautifully mixing together, and I am in love, obsessed.
We watch this
Like,
man
so
give
obsessed.
speech about watching your loved ones grow old and die, which is
Like,
a wild
it's so
thing to say
pretty.
before a wedding. But as he's giving this speech, we see that same woman from before sit down at the table and make a lot of meaningful eye contact with the man giving the toast. That night, they all sit around a cozy fire, trading ghost stories until
I have a story.
She said, guess what? She's like,
Why did my
our
Discord
narrator has a
open?
story. She tells her audience it's not a short story and it's not hers. But everybody sits down to listen and we get our story.
Okay, now I'm gonna use a bit of a skin color to paint the outlines to make it look nicer.
It's the 80s. But anyways, we're in London, following Danny Clayton, an American who's gone to live in London to escape some traumas back home. She interviews for an au pair position for the Wingrave family at Bly Manor. This man, Henry Wingrave, is looking for somebody to keep an eye on his niece and nephew since he's too busy.
I'm gonna paint his nails pink because why not?
He sense that Henry's got some issues.
What's the catch? What makes a woman of your age want to give up her life to take care of someone else's too?
And also, as vulnerable as Danny might seem, she does not fuck around.
I saw your ad 6 months ago, and I have seen it every month since. So I suppose you're right.
I forgot to color the
What is
band-aid.
the catch?
I love this scene.
So I'm just gonna color it yellow,
Through their interaction.
pink,
Danny's nervous chatter at the start while Henry's pouring
and
liquor
blue.
tea in the middle of the day. And the way their tone changes throughout the scene as the gloves come off makes for a curious and fascinating interplay. Afterwards, she's looking at want ads in a bar since that interview was such a disaster, and oh, look who's here. And Danny is apparently...
I'm also gonna
willing
like
to have this
add like
interaction.
here.
That was the most awkward job interview of my entire life. So, I think we should toast to it, Mr. Wingrave. Or do you prefer it in your tea?
Holy shit, Danny! I think my favorite part is that we just hard cut to both of them being like 2 drinks in and genuinely chatting with each other.
Well, I'm
That
gonna
was enough to
like
break the ice, and now they're just talking. Danny
add
asks what
more
the catch was
outlines
about her
here.
job, and Henry tells her the last au pair died, and people
I'm
think
also
the
just
job
gonna
is
like
something.
add
Then he
a
asks
bit
her what her
of
catch
yellow
is,
on
and,
the cheek,
well,
just for the adorableness.
there's a lot she
Then
doesn't say,
I'm
but
gonna
the thing she
like add
emphasizes here
a yellowish green color for
A
highlights.
real difference. Just 2.
So the next thing we know, she's headed to Bly Manor. We quickly meet Owen Sharma, the cook who doesn't love living in this idyllic countryside.
I actually never liked Bly. The people, most of them, they're born here, they die here. And it's easy for them to stop.
And the housekeeper Hannah Gross, who is warm and kind.
Okay, I'm gonna like add more here.
Lighting candles for lost loved ones on the daily. We also meet the 2 Wingrave children.
I'm gonna add orange on the outline sides to make it look much more nicer.
My lady. Oh,
Initially, they both seem precocious
and it's perfectly splendid.
and polite.
I just wanted to say how happy we all are that you're here.
Although we get several hints that something is amiss. Whether it's Miles ogling Danny while she's getting undressed, or Flora's sudden turns when she sees Danny wearing this comb in her hair, or picking this particularly creepy doll up off the floor.
Okay, I'm gonna finish making the hair.
Please.
Also, there's a mysterious man up on the parapet who just stares at Danny. When she asks the others, they say she must have imagined it. Then, at the end of the episode, the two children ask Danny to get something out of this closet and lock her in. Which is very bad. One thing I find maddening and fascinating is that, much like in season 1, where there was a therapist giving out pretty decent advice, except for the fact that he didn't realize ghosts were real, Danny
I'm gonna add like a little bit of
she's in a
blue.
horror TV show. This leads to many scenes of like,
We don't go in there anymore.
oh, don't go in there.
You have to promise me. Don't leave your room at night.
No, Danny, don't do that.
Hide and seek. Hide and seek, sure.
In this creepy house? Danny, I swear to God.
Okay, now like I'm gonna like add a bit of touches to the line art and the hair, and I'm gonna end the stream because like it's basically done.
That are a bad idea. She does them kind of bravely. There's that saying about the bravest people are the ones who are afraid to do the thing anyway, and that's Danny to a T. She might be scared shitless when she sees a weird ghost man out the window, but that won't stop her from grabbing a poker and getting ready to go fight a ghost. I just really like that about her character. In episode 2, we see more of the weird creepy shit happening in this house, like, what's up with those footprints? There's this crack in the wall that only Hannah sees, but I'm sure it's nothing, right? We also learn a bit about how Miles got kicked out of school. First by throwing himself out of a tree and getting in a fight with his friend, and eventually he escalated to murdering a priest's pet bird. After he's been expelled, we learn that Flora had sent him a letter, and this might have been the reason
Excuse me?
for his intense behavior.
Why are you saying I love you to me?
He
That's
has the kids doing chores as punishment for the whole locking her in the closet thing. I love this scene with Jamie and Hannah watching them work in the garden.
On a scale of 0 to American, how would you rate her?
But she's still kind of struggling to manage these two kids who continue to be kind of wild in their own particular ways.
It's such a draining thing. Dealing with children.
Oh, no. In one scene, Flora's trying to be helpful, and
I'm gonna add like pink here.
She finds this pair of glasses.
I didn't break them. They were like this already.
It's fine. It's fine. Afterwards, Danny needs to go outside and have a little panic.
You alright?
Jamie finds her there and kind of helps her calm down.
Okay, it's very adorable. I'm gonna add like the finishing touches to it, and I'm
Of
done.
course, then she lets the kids play a game before bed, and they choose hide and seek, which goes as badly and weirdly as you might expect.
I'll find you. Ears up.
Then she goes running after the kids and sees that man again. This time he's at the window looking creepy as shit. So this queen grabs a poker and runs outside to yell at a ghost.
Gonna call the fucking police!
Then Miles appears at the window and says,
I think it's compensated.
and collapses. Danny and Hannah go running to check on him, and he wakes up and seems okay-ish. But unbeknownst to both women, that man is there at the window again, smiling at him. Episode 3 opens with this montage that's really playing with our expectations. We watch a flashback of 1 year ago. Peter Quint's running around buying fancy clothes and alcohol and getting into this expensive car. The whole montage is set to Tainted Love, which might be on the nose, but I like it. And then we watch him go to his employer, Henry Wingrave, and hand over all this nice stuff he just bought, and suddenly our understanding of the scene is upended. Peter lives adjacent to all this luxury, but none of it is his own. He steps out of the office to bring in a candidate for the au pair position at Bly, and Rebecca Jessel is sitting outside waiting to be interviewed.
Is that a femboy? It's not.
Mr. Quint.
I love
What's
the
wrong?
scene
It's
that
not a
this
femboy.
meeting
Why does everybody keep assuming it's a femboy?
Okay.
When she
Just
gets
because
to
it's a
the
man
Henry
wearing a dress
and
doesn't
Rebecca
necessarily mean
replies,
it's instantly a femboy.
7 and 9? I expect being precious about blouses won't serve me well.
And in the present, we see Danny and Hannah dealing with the appearance of Peter Quint. The police and Hannah explain that Peter stole a lot of money from Henry and then ran off. Oh, and I have to mention here, it's very refreshing to watch a horror property where other characters aren't constantly disbelieving and gaslighting the protagonist. After some initial doubt over the figure Danny saw in episode 1, Hannah and everybody back her up and believe her completely. This was an element in the novella as well, with Miss Grace believing the governess's story. In the show, Owen and Jamie help Hannah and Danny search the grounds. Everybody ends up spending the night, and the four adults stay up late trying to puzzle what's going on. Owen wonders if Peter knows that Rebecca is dead. He guesses that the mysterious calls they've been getting. Hello? Are actually just Peter trying to get a hold of Rebecca. Also, this happens.
Well, Mrs. Grace, it is too late now. Come. Tuck and relax for a bit.
And that is so cute, I could just die. Danny and Jamie stay up a little longer talking about Peter and Rebecca. Jamie says their relationship was toxic.
The wrong kind of love can fuck you up. I saw how he twisted himself into her.
It's giving Y2K
She goes on to
realness.
say that people mix up love and possession.
But guess what that means?
It's giving Y2K and I am living. Bye.
Everybody's a bit worried when Owen stays overnight because his mom is sick.
Wait, I forgot to add the Korean makeup effect on my OC. Usually I do that like.
You always come to mind.
But still, Owen stays for the day, just to make sure everyone is okay. The flashbacks show us Rebecca Jessel starting as the au pair for the Wingraves. Perfect and splendid. The kids are a handful.
Okay,
but
perfect.
In a normal kid way.
Miss Jessel is cheating! You're lying, and that's cheating! Stop!
We also watch as her and Peter grow closer. He's quite charming initially. Warning signs too.
Please.
Patience. Not to mention some truly nasty behavior.
Okay, it's giving Y2K and I'm living for the aesthetic. I'm gonna add a layer from canvas. Added like no, not a lens blur, unsharp mask. Then oh, that makes it very much more cute. Anime background. Okay, now let's see. Oh my god, that looks so nice.
Sees him again. The ghost she's been seeing more and more.
Okay, it's I am living. I'm gonna add like a noise, just a bit of noise and put it on screen, just for the effects.
And that brings us to episode 4 and Edmund. Danny and her respective
It's so pretty.
and eventually were engaged to be married.
Okay, I am loving it, saving, and yeah, goodbye everyone. Thank you for watching.
We watch